Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Apprenticeships at Salford City College School Leaver Digital Information event. Apologies to those who were here prior to or on 3 o'clock. We did just want to give it people a little bit extra time to join the event, but we absolutely going to get moving now with this information event. So just by way of introductions, my name's Alan Milne. I'm Head of Apprenticeships at Salford City College, and I will be leading the event for the next 30-40 minutes, hopefully giving you some valuable information and insight into becoming an apprentice with Salford City College. I'm also going to be joined by colleagues, Mandy Shepherd, who's our team leader in our recruitment and business development team, and also Abby Thompson and Sarah Walker, who are our apprentice and employer advisors, and you will be hearing more from those guys later on in the event. We've also very fortunate to be joined by Jane Greaves, who is one of our who represents one of our valuable employers, Wilmot Dixon. Jane is a head of social value and apprenticeships at Wilmot Dixon, and she'll be talking to us in a short while, giving us her perception of apprenticeships, the value they bring to her organisation, and why her organisation invest significantly in apprenticeships. So fantastic that we get to hear from a brilliant employer, and we're delighted, and thank you, Jane, for joining us today. Okay, so I'm going to get started. So just to cover what the intentions of today are, primarily we want everyone on the event to be able to understand what apprenticeships are and understand the benefits of apprenticeships. We want you also to be aware of the range of apprenticeships that we offer as an apprenticeship provider. We want to give you examples of the types of apprentices and the employers that we work with, and some of the current opportunities that we have now which are live to be applied into. We want to ensure you fully understand how you need to move forward from this event and become a Salford City College apprentice. And finally, obviously, we've got to talk a little bit about the context of COVID-19 and the current pandemic, and we want to talk to you a little bit about what happens if you don't get that dream apprenticeship straight away, and what can we do to help you in terms of an individual who you want to be an apprentice, but because of the challenges you may not be able to progress into an apprenticeship straight away. Importantly, at any point in the event, we want you to get involved. I know we've had our first questions already, which is delighted, and we will certainly be picking those up from Lucas as we progress through the event. On your screen, you've got the ability to ask questions, so we'd encourage you at any point to ask a question, and we will either kind of intervene and answer that question, or we will get to the point and cover at a later date. But please do answer that question, and I know Mandy and the guys are ready and waiting to respond and pass those on to me. So we'll be delighted if you could really become involved and ask any questions. What I always say at these events is you are at this event because you want to be informed about becoming an apprentice. This is your career, this is your future, this is your education. So if you have any questions, please do ask. This is your chance. There's no silly question. Every question is genuine if it means something to you. So please do get involved and ask any questions. Okay, so moving into the event, I passionately believe that there's never been a better time to be an apprentice. Now I've used this slide for the past couple of years as the growth in the apprenticeship landscape has become significant. There's a lot more apprentices than ever before up and down the country. There's a lot more apprentices than ever before in Greater Manchester, in Salford, and we as a provider deliver more apprenticeships than we ever have done. Currently at this time we have around about 1,300 apprentices on programme, and employers more and more looking to apprentices and apprenticeship programmes as a way of developing young people and developing the skills that they need for their business. So I still passionately believe there's never been a better time to be an apprentice. What I will say is that obviously at the moment, because of COVID-19, it is tricky and there are some hurdles that we've got to get over. but there's still absolutely, as you will hear from Jane, an appetite from employers, big employers, small employers, to employ young people, to give them an opportunity, but also because those employers are desperate for the skills that you can afford their organisations. And never before has employers wanted to invest in apprenticeships more than what they do at this moment in time. Just now I'm going to show you a video clip just to prove what I just said, giving you an example of some of the brilliant apprenticeships that we offer across a range of sectors.
It's really rewarding because I get to see children's first things that they do, like first steps and the first word.
Day to day I'm responsible for overseeing all the operations in this locality.
Every construction contract is different. We work on some quite challenging schemes. It's great to walk onto a greenfield site or a site that's been used before and then completely transform it.
My job role includes general admin duties. I also weekly input timesheets and do the banking every week.
Okay, so just moving on from that, apologies, my technical issues here. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so hopefully from that video you got to see and experience the different types of apprentices that we have at Salford City College, and also give you a quick introduction into some of the employers and organisations that we work with. And when we were designing that video, it was designed with a deliberate intent, and the intent that was that we wanted people like yourselves to understand that first and foremost every apprentice is an employee. So all of those individuals you saw in that video actually have a role within that organisation, a very, very important role, whether that be one of the project managers at Seddon, or whether it be one of the childcare practitioners or one of the adult care practitioners. They all have a very, very important role in their organisation. So they're very much an employee first and foremost, and then an apprentice. And put that together, you have that perfect package. Okay, so just wanted to take you back a little bit, talk to you a little bit about apprenticeships at Salford City College and who we are as an organisation. Obviously, we are part of the well-established Salford City College group. Most of you guys will have spoken to colleagues from the college, from Pendleton, from Eccles, from City, maybe all of those sites. We are very much part and parcel of Salford City College group, and we benefit from the brilliant range of infrastructure, facilities and staffing resource that the Salford City College have to offer. We are one of the #1 colleges in the United Kingdom. We were Ofsteded last year, so Ofsted, who are the inspection body who come and inspect educational institutions, they came and inspected us last year, and they rated us as good with some outstanding features. We have around about 650 staff across the organisation. Most of you will be aware that we have 5 brilliant campuses across Salford, Eccles, Pendleton, Worsley, City Skills, Future Skills, all of which offer fantastic learning infrastructure and spaces to learn. We also have our brilliant Apprenticeship Headquarters on the Quays. Again, some of you may have visited that site already. We have our very own kind of learning suite, our training spaces, and also our recruitment team and our delivery team are also based there as well. We deliver a huge amount of education across Salford, across Greater Manchester, and we have apprentices as far down as kind of Stoke, and as far up as the kind of lakes and across Liverpool. We deliver apprenticeships across a wide remit. As an apprenticeship function, we believe we're outstanding. This year, our success rate for apprenticeships will be somewhere between 75 and 80% of apprentices who are on programme will achieve their qualifications. Now, this compares to a national average of around about 65%. So we believe we're a very, very strong apprenticeship provider. We would absolutely be hitting 80% this year if it wasn't for the challenges presented by the COVID pandemic, meaning that some apprentices simply can't achieve at this moment in time. Importantly as well, our employers, so the employers who employ our apprentices, all 470 of them, they believe that we are very good and consistently give us exceptional feedback in terms of what they think of our performance. That has been ranked so that there is league tables of employee feedback, and across Greater Manchester we are absolutely the strongest college for employer feedback. So we passionately believe that our apprentices and employers get a fantastic experience from the organisation Apprenticeships at Salford City College. As I alluded to earlier, we have around about 1,300 apprentices on programme at the moment. Obviously that changes every day, because every day we start apprentices. It's not like college. You don't have to start just in September. Every day we start apprentices and every day apprentices finish. So it does vary, but we've got around 1,300 apprentices on board at the moment. And we work across 7 different sectors. So we deliver apprenticeships into 7 different sectors, which we will explore in a short while. And we have around 65 different apprenticeship programs. Again, we're going to look at them in a bit more detail shortly. I think I've got a question coming in. I can see an apprentice. Can I do an apprenticeship at Eccles? Well, we will be covering that in a short while. We do tend to use 2 or 3 of our venues, particularly City Campus, particularly Future Skilled and Worsley. We don't often deliver out of Eccles or Pendleton, but we do take advantage of the fantastic facilities that Worsley, City Skilled and also Future Skilled offer us as an apprenticeship team. I'm particularly proud I have 65 apprenticeship staff, specialist staff in my apprenticeship team. I believe we have some of the best delivery staff in the Northwest, if not in the United Kingdom. We have some amazing apprenticeship colleagues in recruitment, and also we have a fantastic apprenticeship support function, administration-wise and pastoral. So we have some real brilliant, high-quality specialist apprenticeship staff who take great pride in delivering fantastic apprenticeship provision to our apprentices and also to the employers who we support. As I've said, we work with around about 470 different employers who employ a Salford City College apprentice. Around about 94 of those organisations are what we class as large apprentice levy companies, so they contribute through their PAYE systems and through their account system into the kind of country's apprenticeship kitty, if you like, because of their size. But we do take great pride in working with apprenticeship employers of all different sizes, from Marks and Spencers and Bupa and Co-op to some of the biggest, to some of the kind of smaller organisations in and across Salford as well. And we take great pride in working with those organisations. Okay, so now I'm going to cover some of the key facets that we think you need to know about apprenticeship programmes. And again, if you've got any questions at any point, please do ask through the chat system. So obviously, first and foremost, the critical element of an apprenticeship is that an apprenticeship is a job. You absolutely are employed. As I said, whether that be from a big, large organisation or a smaller organisation, you first and foremost are an employee of that organisation, and your employer issues you with a contract of employment, which includes kind of apprenticeship terms and conditions, and you are very much an employee of that organisation. Those employees are expected to commit to your apprenticeship for at least the minimum duration of your apprenticeship period, and we do expect all of our employers to maintain the apprentices following completion of their apprenticeship programme. And our success rates for that, so for apprentices who complete their apprenticeship, around about 96% of those apprentices stay with their employer, and a lot of them do progress onto high-level apprenticeships or high-level study. So absolutely, first and foremost, an apprenticeship means that you must be employed by an organisation who are supporting you to develop your skills, your knowledge, and your understanding of a particular career and sector as you are working for that organisation. Obviously, and this is something that we all like as an apprentice, if you are employed, obviously that means you are 100% earning as you learn, which is a fantastic element of any apprenticeship program. What you will receive in wages from your employer obviously very much depends on the employer, the sector that you work in, and the organisation, and their own kind of pay bands. There are minimum levels that an apprentice must receive payment wise. They're based on the kind of government minimum wages, and they are included in the link if you wanted to have a look at in a bit more detail. We actively encourage all of our employers to pay above kind of minimum wages, and as you will see from some of the examples of the vacancies that we're currently recruiting to, a lot of employers do pay very, very attractive wages to apprentices on their apprenticeship program. Obviously, as we've talked about, critical to any apprenticeship is that you as an individual are acquiring skills, knowledge and behaviours that will not only help you and your career prospects and your career plans, but also will help your employer, because your employer needs the skills that you can afford their business. The employer is investing in you because they want you to be part of their business, and they want your skills to benefit their business moving forward. So every apprentice works towards what we call an apprenticeship standard. Every apprenticeship standard is formalised and defined by employers aligned with the government and the educational skills body. They will develop apprenticeship standards and define the correct qualifications and programs that you work towards on your apprenticeship program. To be qualified, you must become occupationally competent, and that is the whole point of an apprenticeship, is to get you to the point where you've got the skills, knowledge and behaviours that you need to be success in your chosen career. And that is very much the aim of all of our delivery models and all of our apprenticeship standards. A lot of apprentices who are used to attending school or college will automatically presume that they will learn within a college environment. That is definitely the case for some of our apprentices. Around about 40% of our apprentices attend college, one of our college venues, on a regular basis. Most of our construction apprentices attend City Skills Campus or Future Skills. Most of our catering and hair and beauty attend Worsley, and some of our accountants or other professional services attend Future Skills. But not all apprentices have to attend college. As I said, I have a team of delivery specialists. Those delivery specialists spend 80% of their working week in employer premises, supporting their apprentices to learn on site. That is a really, really important part of what we do in the apprenticeship team. We bring learning to you in the workplace. Some programs don't need any college attendance at all. Some have a mix, and some do come into college on a regular weekly basis. Everyone will have a trainer assessor or a training associate who becomes your specialist training mentor, and they will support you throughout your duration and throughout your apprenticeship program, whether that be in the workplace or in college. Okay, so those are the key elements of what you need to understand about an apprenticeship program. Now we're going to kind of look at some of the areas in which we deliver apprenticeships in. So the first sector that we are looking at is the business, professional and financial services sector. And as you can see, there's a broad range of apprenticeship provision that we offer in that area. For those of you who can actually see the presentation slides, you will note that we've got two of our very first apprentices in the images. Courtney, in particular, obviously the female in the image, now works for Aldi and is part of their human resource management team. She was an apprentice with us 10 years ago. Was one of our very first apprentices, and has progressed significantly in her career. Ashley, who's in the diagram in the image, still works for ourselves. He was employed by the college. He's one of our apprentices. In 10 years on, he's one of our digital learning support officers. So he has significantly progressed in his career. So as you can see, the range of apprenticeships in that area are significant. Everything from accounts to project management to business administration to leadership to kind of school business and IT. What I would say in this area is of particular importance to youngsters like yourself who are leaving the school is that a lot of employers will recruit for a business administrator, and you will see some kind of examples of those roles shortly when we come to look at some current vacancies. And now I see those roles as being an amazing kind of gateway for you to develop a fantastic career. Business administrator is a great way to move into a company and get a feel for that organisation and start your career. A lot of our accountants, project managers, leaders, etc., they all started within their organisations in an administration capacity and climbed the career ladder. So you will see a lot of vacancies advertised as business administration, and that is going into the organisation and working in an admin role and supporting those organisations. Very quickly you will determine where you want to go and the future aspirations that you may have within that organisation. So they are a great way to start a career, particularly for school leavers. We then have our construction and the built environment apprenticeship offer. This is very, very popular at this time of year. Construction typically recruits from August, September and October, and we will normally start somewhere in the region of 200 to 250 different apprentices on a range of different programs across the construction sector. And obviously, though the current climate is challenging, we do still have a number of vacancies currently, and we expect a lot more vacancies to come in that area. The majority of the list you see will study on a day release or a block release model at our City Skills campus, but some of the professional areas, so the kind of construction site supervisor, civil engineering technicians, etc., they may well study at Future Skills. There are some great opportunities there. And also, again, what I always say to youngsters entering the construction sector is, if you go in at craft level, you will start at level 2, but as you'll hear from Jane, employees are desperate for you to stay with them and climb the career ladder. They want to invest in your skills, to keep your skills within their business. So we'll very quickly want to progress you up the levels and up the job roles, etc. The next sector is our education and early years. So we have an awful lot of apprentices working in educational settings across Salford, across Greater Manchester. A lot of those work in nurseries, a lot of work in schools, and they've got a passion for working with young people. They want to be involved in their education and their support. And we work with an awful lot of particularly local Salford nurseries who are very keen to employ and again develop the skills in those areas for their businesses. And it's a really kind of popular route into the childcare sector for young people. And obviously schools in particular, like apprentices, teaching assistants, etc. Some great organisations that we work with, and some really strong apprenticeship programs. The other sector that we work in is this is probably our biggest sector, is the health and social care, the adult care. We have around about 400 apprentices at any one time working in the health and social care sector. The vast majority of those apprentices work for local authorities. We are the main provider into Salford City Council, Trafford Council, Manchester City Council, Wigan and Lee, and we have an awful lot of apprentices who are working in adult care settings, and obviously it's a really important setting at the moment. There's a massive demand for people to move into that sector, and it's a great career choice if that's an area that you're interested in. Another really strong area for ourselves is our kind of hospitality, retail, hair and beauty. The vast majority of this provision is delivered out of our Worsley campus, where we've got some fabulous catering facilities and fabulous hair and beauty rooms and training space, etc. Again, as you can see from the list, there's a great range of apprenticeships in that area, and we do work with some fantastic employers in those areas who are always keen for young people to enter into their sectors and provide brilliant training. We often use ourselves, we often use our Worsley campus, we've got our own fine dining restaurant. So our apprentices in hospitality often spend time training and learning in that fine dining restaurant, and we will often host events with our employers. We will invite them into that restaurant for events, for occasions, and they're blown away by the quality of the apprentices and the quality of the learners who cater for them while they're in that event. Okay, doke. So as I've introduced the range of apprenticeship programs that we deliver, I'm now going to talk to you a little bit about the employers that we work with. But before I do that, we're going to hear from Jane Greaves, who is one of our employers at Wilmot Dixon. Jane has got fabulous experience of working in the apprenticeship and social value landscape. She's given a huge amount of young people opportunities. She's really passionate about youngsters working for organisations and progressing their career. Not only because she really values and wants to help youngsters, because she sees the benefits of those youngsters to organisations that she represents. So I'm now going to hand over to Jane, who's going to talk us through her perspective and Wilmot Dixon's perspective of apprenticeship programmes. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Alan. Good afternoon, everybody. Alan's very kindly invited me to talk to you to give you kind of an overview of, from an employer's perspective, of utilising apprentices. And for us, really, as Alan said, you can do an apprenticeship in almost anything. For us as an employer, apprentices are our future workforce. They're our future people. And as you can see, you can do apprenticeships at all different levels. So we've got, and we take them at level 2, level 3, level 4, and on into degree apprenticeships as well. So we take young people right through the scope of apprenticeships in all various occupational areas. So we take them into our business at level 2 and progress, but we also work with our supply chain partners as well, who deliver craft apprenticeships. So we provide information and advice and guidance to our supply chain if they want to recruit apprenticeships into joinery or brickwork or whatever. So as I've said, they are our future workforce, a valuable asset to our business. I'm taking somebody as a young person. They can see how we work, they can develop and learn the culture and the ethos of our business and how Wilmot Dixon, the service that we provide to our customers. Salaries for apprentices, as Alan says, they start at a certain point, but this slide will just give you an idea of the salaries that can be earned within the construction sector. So some quite high salaries can be commanded from the different job roles that we provide. And as you can see, you get into senior management and director, you can get into the nice little figures up there. So for us, it's a major investment, but for a young person, there is the potential to progress within our business. And as this slide says, it's not just for the boys. People perceive construction as all males. Well, I'd just like to say to you females out there that there is plenty of potential for young ladies to get involved in construction, either at craft level, doing a trade, or at a professional level as a quantity surveyor or as a build manager. And we have lots of experiences with examples within our business of females going into those roles and progressing nicely. So for us, we'd just like to kind of reiterate what Alan said, really, is that an apprenticeship is an ideal opportunity. You can earn while you learn. If you progress through and you progress onto a degree apprenticeship, then at the end of that, you've got a degree, but you've not got the student debt that you would acquire if you went to university on a full-time basis. So apprenticeships are an ideal route to get into our industry, progress, and carve yourself out really a future career. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jane, for that. Delighted that you could join us and share that experience with us. And we chose kind of Jane and Wilmot Dixon because they are certainly an exemplar employee within the construction setting, and do take on apprentices at every year and make a big commitment to do so. But there are obviously a range of employers that we work with across a range of sectors, and the message that Jane gave there will be mirrored across most sectors, whereby an employer wants to invest in apprenticeships because they need the skills. They want those apprentices to stay within their business, and they're determined to provide opportunities for young people to advance and move on in their career, to develop skills and knowledge. So thank you, Jane. Delighted you could join us. I'm just going to go to the chat now. I think we've got a couple of questions which I will try and answer. So a question from an anonymous attendee: if I'm got a place at a college but I want to go to another college what I like a lot more, could I change? Obviously, what I always say to individuals with questions like this is you get one chance or two chances at your education. Always try and make as well an informed decision as you can right at the beginning, so you do make the right choices. But obviously sometimes we do decide, we do change our mind, etc. And absolutely, you're perfectly entitled to kind of swap between colleges if that is what you so wish, and you can get a new opportunity at a new organisation. And the next question is, if I was to get a business admin apprenticeship, do I spend any time in college at all? The answer to that is, in the main, you will be studying in the workplace, and our trainer assessor would be seeing you probably on a monthly basis for 2 or 3 hours in the workplace. You may need to come into college potentially to study functional skills, English and math, if you don't already have them. But in the main, in business administration, our team deliver those programs in the workplace, and they do that through visiting you in person, through digital sessions like this. We have a virtual learning environment where you will study and kind of discuss and chat with your peers. And also we have an e-portfolio which we use to manage your work, manage your assessments, and also manage your progress in tracking. So business administration is one of those areas where you are primarily in the workplace, and our staff come to see you probably on a monthly basis, and then have kind of more digital contact with you throughout as well. Okay, so obviously we've introduced you to Wilmot Dixon and Jane Greaves, but I have alluded to the fact that we do work with a wide range of different employers of all different sizes and all different types across Salford, across Greater Manchester, and across the Northwest. And on the screen you can obviously see some of the logos of the organisations that we work with. We take great pride in working with a large number of organisations. You can see a number of local authorities. You can see Salford City Council as an example in the middle of the screen. We are their preferred apprenticeship provider, and we currently have around about 120 apprentices with Salford City Council. Very similar with Manchester City Council. We have about 70 apprentices with Manchester City Council at this moment in time. You will see some of the kind of corporates. Seddon Construction, we have around about 45-50 apprentices with Seddon at any one time. N Brown Group, one of the biggest digital retailers in the planet, and we work with them. Customer service, business administration, and then obviously Salford Royal, Motion Group, some big names that you'll probably recognise from across Salford and across Greater Manchester and beyond. And not all small companies, as I've alluded to. Around about 94 of our employer partners out of the 470 are big organisations, but a huge amount of our employees are small to medium micro businesses, where their apprentices are critical to their existence. They become very integral members of their teams, and we work with a huge amount of different and smaller organisations as well. Just wanted to obviously make this real. So obviously the majority of you individuals, I think there's about 35 people on this call at the moment, have just left school, and you really are weighing up your kind of future career prospects. Are you going to go to college? Are you going to get an apprenticeship, etc.? Just wanted to share with you now some of the current vacancies that we're actually recruiting for now. And then I'm going to kind of go hand over to Mandy and the recruitment team to tell you a bit about how we do that. But obviously a really important feature of our service is that we don't just deliver apprenticeships, we help you find apprenticeships. Because without an employer, we don't have an apprenticeship program. So we have a team who spend their every day working with employers, finding employers who want to recruit apprentices and give people like you guys opportunities. First one, as I previously talked about, is business administration apprenticeships, either at level 2 or level 3, and that's with the Phillips Trust Corporation. And as you can see, they're looking for someone to work in their organisation Monday to Friday, potentially 9 till 5 in their office, with a starting salary of £12,000 per annum. And there is a link there that we can share with you to find out more information about Phillips Trust and also that apprenticeship. And as I said before, a business administration apprenticeship is a great way to begin life in the professional services sector. It's a great way for an employer to understand you better and to really help you identify where you're going to go and work and build a career within their organisation. The next example is a construction and built environment apprenticeship for Charleston Building Services. We work with Charleston every year, and they normally recruit 2 or 3 apprentices. This year, they're a building services company, so they deal with all the heating, all the water, all the electrical supplies in buildings, and they're currently looking to recruit a heating and ventilation apprentice who's going to start with them on a level 3 programme on a reasonable hourly rate of £6.65 per hour, which is quite an attractive rate. That opportunity is fantastic. The organisation are based in Warrington, but they work across Greater Manchester, across Salford, and particularly across the northwest and even further beyond. A lot of our construction apprentices work in different locations, and that's kind of really one of the attractive points of working in that sector. No day's the same. You're moving to and from sites depending on the jobs at the organisation. So Charleston are currently recruiting, and I know Mandy and the team are working hard and hoping that some of you guys, some of you individuals will be interested in applying for that vacancy. The next one, Salford City Academy. So we do work with an awful lot of educational establishments, nursery settings, schools, academy trusts across the city, across Salford and across Greater Manchester. Salford City Academy looking for a business administrator again to go into their office and to start working, to start supporting their office function in an administration capacity. So that is a great opportunity, which again we are recruiting to now. Again, we're going into the construction, a gas engineer, so we do an awful lot of gas. We have around about 50 or 60 gas apprentices on programme at any one point. It's a great opportunity with the local organisation. They're a company who want to keep their kind of name confidential until you speak to them. But again, a great opportunity for anyone who's interested in gas. Similarly, adult care, so as I've alluded to when I talk about our sectors, we have around 400 different apprentices at any one time working in the care sector. And it's a real growing area of need, and we deliver apprenticeship programmes from level 2 right up to level 5 management. So there's a great career to be had in the care sector. This particular employer is Harmony Home Care, one of our kind of regular employers who work with us to recruit their staff and their apprentices, and they're looking to pay obviously £7 per hour, and they do offer kind of mileage and travel time expenses as well. So that is a great opportunity for anyone who's looking to work in the care sector. And I just wanted to finish in terms of current opportunities by talking about some vacancies that are coming live very shortly. We work with Co-op, so obviously most people recognise that Co-op has been a huge organisation within the Northwest and a real traditional organisation who want to do a lot for kind of social values and local people. They're about to go live with advertising 10 customer service apprenticeship programs. So obviously an awful lot of the services the co-op provide are about dealing with their customers, supporting insurance, financial services, etc. They're looking to recruit, or they will be looking to recruit 10 new individuals moving into their kind of customer service and service team environment, based out of the city centre. I don't know if anyone's seen the co-op's new city centre headquarters. Absolutely phenomenal building right in the middle of the city. And the co-op are looking to pay around £18,000 per individual per annum. And that is a fantastic starting salary for anyone who was to be fortunate enough to secure one of those places. They're currently not live, but they will be coming live within the next month. A great opportunity, again, for anyone seeking to work in the professional services sector. Obviously, you won't be customer service representatives forever. You progress, you grow into that organisation. But a great way for you to start a career with the co-op, such a prestigious organisation. I'm now going to hand over to our apprenticeship recruitment team leader, Mandy Shepherd, to introduce herself and her team and a little bit about how you progress as an apprenticeship. As I've said, we don't just deliver apprenticeships, but we help you guys secure apprentices. A really important part of what we do as a team is to make sure we can connect potential apprentices with employers, helping them secure their dream apprenticeship. Over to you, Mandy.
I'm Mandy Shepherd. I'm the team leader on the apprenticeship recruitment team, as Alan's just explained. As you can see on the screen, this is our team. So we have 3 of the members of our team whose ultimate goal is to work with the employers, everything that Alan's just mentioned. So our day jobs could be from one time going on a construction site, then going into a nursery, into a school, to source the best employers to give people a career. And I myself am one of them people, and so is Louise Jones and Christine Berner. And that is one of our goals as a team. And then the second, obviously, focus for us as a team is to find the best talent. So, i.e., the most committed, determined candidates. For example, you guys who are with us now. And then to talent match candidates to the employers. So then we work as a recruitment team. I'm not going to go into a great detail of that because my colleague's going to support me in a moment. But to see so many people here today is obviously amazing. This is by far one of our best times of year, without a doubt, to see so many school leavers and who our recruitment line is for 2020 for our employers. And I also want to mention one of our other second favourite times of year, which is National Apprenticeship Week, where we've already been around some of the schools and worked with some of you guys in terms of your careers advisors and met you. And I just wanted to say that I'm absolutely amazed this year to see how many of you are already working with the team. This week I've seen names coming up in this event where I thought, you know, I personally have met you at your school, and it's been fantastic to see. For those who are new, so who haven't already met the team, welcome. Again, I'll ask a member of my team to talk you through the recruitment stages in a moment. But just to explain, so Sarah and Abby and Reagan are the candidates of the team that are responsible for supporting our candidates into apprenticeships, talent matching the employers to candidates. And we all do a fantastic job. We're a fantastic team. We're passionate about supporting people into apprenticeships. So yeah, I'm going to hand you over to my colleague Sarah Allen, because it would be wrong for myself to explain the next steps of recruitment, because you probably will see emails from Sarah, Abby, or Apprenticeships at Salford City College. So I'd like to introduce you to Sarah if possible to discuss the next steps. But welcome and an exciting time.
Hi everyone. So as Mandy mentioned, I am part of Abby, Sarah and Reagan. My name's Sarah Allen. So when you do start applying for apprenticeships, it's going to be myself, Abby or Reagan that you speak to. So we're a dedicated team that help with the talent match process. So for example, if at the moment you're not too sure where you want to go with your career, you just know that you might want to work in an office environment. you'd approach myself, Abby or Reagan, and we'd have a good careers chat with you, discuss what avenues and what options you've got, and then we can start the application process if we've got something to offer you. So what you need to do is, don't worry too much about the applying online section. If you've got an email address, you can email us directly at apprenticeships@salfordcc.ac.uk. If you have already got a CV, please attach your CV to the email, and then that's one box ticked and we're ready to start the ball rolling. If you've not got a CV, please don't let it put you off. Email us again at apprenticeships@salfordcc.ac.uk, and we can support you with putting that CV together, or maybe contacting your careers advisors at school if you've already got one on the school system and you're struggling to get on there. If you've just got an inquiry and you've got a question, again, you can use that email address, or you can give us a call on 0161 631 5555, and again, generally it'll be me, Abby or Reagan that answers your queries. Hope that helps, and we're really looking forward to supporting all the Year 11s on their apprenticeship journey.
Alan, can I just explain as well, for those that are already in our talent pool, so a couple of people have already made them steps, so sent us your CVs, completed assessments. You will be receiving a weekly bulletin at the moment with all our vacancies on it, and as you know, you will be receiving calls from the team to explain what vacancies we've got. And also there's a lot of spec happening at the moment, so a couple of years we've had conversations with, and that's what we intend to do. As soon as we've got CVs and signed up to the talent pool, we can then begin discussions with our employers. Brilliant.
Okay, so delighted that we got to hear from Mandy and Sarah representing our fantastic recruitment team. I can't stress enough how important it is and how important a function that team play, because obviously most of you, if not all of you, who are on this event very seriously considering moving into an apprenticeship opportunity, and those guys do literally make careers and dreams come true. They represent our employers. They work hard to find the best talent, and they work hard to make sure those employers get the best talent. And he's hoping that a number of you on this call will be our apprentices in the very near future. What I did want to finish with is just to talk a little bit about the kind of current pandemic and the challenges that is presenting to obviously employers and the apprenticeship landscape, and just to kind of inform people that apprenticeships might not happen as quickly as they would normally. As you've seen, we still do have a large number of employers looking to recruit, and that will hopefully continue to grow over the next couple of months. But there will be challenges presented. As we all know, the economy and employers will be facing a tough few months ahead. So what we've done, we've devised a new programme that will hopefully help employers and individuals who want to become apprentices, and we've called that targeted traineeships. So if you want an apprenticeship, and if we can find an employer who wants to employ you, but that employer may be limited, they may not be able to employ you until October, November, January even, because obviously their business is facing challenging situations, then we will enroll you onto a targeted traineeship. So you will not be an employee of the employer until maybe December or January, but you will be sponsored by the organisation on our traineeship programme. So traineeships are designed to help you enter into apprenticeships. We've run them for a number of years, and we want to use our targeted traineeships as a way of employers committing to individuals. Yes, I want to employ you, I just can't employ you just yet, but I want to support you, I want to give you work experience, I want you to understand my business, I want you to be part of my business, and as soon as I possibly can, I will employ you as a fully fledged employee and apprentice. So we're going to use the targeted traineeships to help employers still connect with their ideal apprentices, but just to give those employers a little bit of time. By doing so, it will allow us to develop you as an apprentice, making sure that when you do start your apprenticeship programme, you'll be fully ready, fully knowledgeable, not only on the organisation who will be employing you, but also in the sector and the expertise areas that you're going to be working in. Our traineeship, targeted traineeship programs will probably be a commitment of up to 3 days a week. We'd expect you to come to our Apprenticeship Headquarters on the Quays for at least 1 day per week, where you will spend time with our experts in whatever sector, care, construction or professional services. And then we will also expect you to undertake at least 1 day's work experience, ideally in person at the employer's premises, but maybe digital to begin with. And then we will also expect you to undertake at least 1 day independent study, where we've set you tasks, we've set you learning, and we will deliver that and help you study remotely, probably at home through a digital format. And it's really about, as I've said, giving employers who want to commit to an apprenticeship, but just need a little bit of time to get their finances, their business up and running again following the COVID pandemic, that little bit of time. And we already got a number of employers who said, yeah, that is a fantastic idea. We absolutely want to employ apprentices. We've done it every year. We just can't commit at this moment in time for that apprentice to sign on the dotted line. But in the very near future, we will be taking them on permanently. So we want to support your trainees. We will commit to them, and then when the time is right, we will absolutely employ them as a normal apprenticeship. So hopefully that does sound attractive to you as individuals. So if we can secure you the ideal apprenticeship right now, we can still secure you the commitment from an employer, and as soon as possible, when the time is right, they will employ you and take you on as their employee and their apprentice. But in the meantime, they will still be speaking to you. They will have at least 1 hour per week mentoring, conversation with you digitally, and you will hopefully also be undertaking some real work experience at their business or on their site or in their locations as part of that traineeship program. If you are interested in that model, please do have a conversation with the recruitment team. They will be sharing more information following this event, and they will be continuously discussing this over the coming months as we do really gather momentum into the apprenticeship recruitment process. The other option is, as we've said, it might not happen overnight. As you know, as we've introduced, we have some absolutely brilliant full-time college courses. All of our recruitment teams spend time in our college campuses working with full-time learners, helping them progress onto their next steps. We've actually got a very similar event to this in a couple of weeks for our college leavers. So those individuals who are leaving college and want to seek employment as an apprentice, we've got a very similar event. And as I said, Mandy in the team spent a lot of time in college. So if you did want to start a college course, and because we didn't get you an apprenticeship in September, we'd absolutely support you to do that. We'd keep in touch, we'd be working with you, and over the duration of your college programme, we'd be supporting you to take those steps into the right apprenticeship opportunity when they did become available. So we'd absolutely encourage you to consider the targeted traineeship approach if we couldn't get you fixed up instantly. Obviously, we'd encourage you to consider taking that place at one of our brilliant college locations and starting a full-time programme, staying in education, staying engaged, and we will work with you while you're on one of those courses to help you transition into an apprenticeship when the time is right. So it's 3:58. I've stayed within time, which is, for those who know me, is a real rarity. We scheduled this event to last until 4 o'clock. I do believe there's around 35 people still on the call. If anyone has got any questions, now is your time to ask those questions through chat. If not, I'm just looking, Mandy, I think I've answered most of the questions. Are there any questions I haven't answered?
Alan, I think there's quite a few in there from people asking, about college and which centres and things like that. So just to probably explain the difference. Okay,
so I'll just start back through. So Lucas, obviously you asked about you having difficulty contacting companies. Hopefully we've answered your question. Absolutely, we will support you in finding the right employers, and we take great pride in doing that, as you've heard from Mandy and the team. Isabel, I think we've answered that question. We will be in touch, and anything, but we will be in touch with other colleges. I answered the question about Eccles. How much time do I spend on my apprenticeship? That's a really good question from an anonymous. So as an apprentice, you have to spend around about 20% of your employment time learning. Now that doesn't mean that you have to spend 20% of the time in a classroom or with a trainer assessor. That means you have to spend 20% of your time learning through employees, through colleagues, through our staff, a whole different way of learning through the virtual learning environment, through attending meetings, through listening to mentors, etc. But around about 20% of your time in employment has to be spent acquiring knowledge and gaining the skills and knowledge that you need to achieve your apprenticeship. So there's a question about what company does Jane work at. Jane is Head of Apprenticeships and Social Value at Wilmot Dixon. Wilmot Dixon are a national build main contractor. Locally, I live near Rochdale, so Wilmot Dixon have just built a huge new retail complex right in the middle of Rochdale. Last year they finished building a huge new sports centre in Oldham. They work in all different settings across, as I say, the Northwest and the United Kingdom. So there's a question. Can we bring Jane back in? Jane, the question is, what do you think employers look for in their apprentices? What are the main kind of things that they're looking for?
I think for me, it's that commitment and that wanting to learn. If we can get a young person to turn up every day, turn up on time and be interested and committed to what they're doing, we can teach them the rest. It's all about that attitude, that personal attitude, and that commitment, really, for me, more than anything. Academic, yeah, I mean, English qualification is would be ideal, but again, it's mainly about the individual for us.
Brilliant. Sorry, Jane. Thanks, Jane. Sorry, I hadn't realised, Jane, you'd answered that question in the chat. Sorry.
It's all right, no worries.
Well, I think it was great for everyone to hear. So, and again, that is something that we hear time and time again. Apprentices, young apprentices in particular, are often concerned that they may not have the skills or the knowledge to begin employment. But that's what the apprenticeship's about. The apprenticeship gives you the opportunity to learn skills, knowledge, and behaviours in that particular setting. As Jane alluded to, what employers want more than anything is a brilliant attitude, a determination to learn, and a determination to be the best employer you can be. Employers will give you that skill, give you that knowledge, but you've got to go to them with that attitude and that desire to be the best you possibly can be. And like Jane's alluded to in her presentation, you go to Wilmot Dixon or those organisations, they want you there for a long time. They don't want to invest, they pay an awful lot of money for your apprenticeship, they pay your salary. They don't want to invest in you just for it to diminish. They want you to be an employee of theirs for a long time and contribute to their organisation. We've had a question about if I do a level 3 apprenticeship, can I go to Salford University? Obviously, Salford University is a different institution, educational institution to ourselves. We do work very closely with them, and we do have kind of progression agreements in place in certain areas. We would also say that their entry criteria is kind of their decision, but we would actively support any of our apprentices to progress into higher level programs once they've concluded, and a number of our apprentices actively do that. And if you want us to help facilitate that, if it's a apprenticeship that we couldn't deliver, then we can certainly have those conversations. Finley's asked, how do I sign up for an apprenticeship? Well, Finley, by asking us that, as Sarah's already responded, Sarah will be on your case. She sent you that email address. You send us an email, Sarah or Abby will be in touch, and we will start that matching process. You show us the attitude, you show us the determination in whatever career it is, and then we will do it. We will work as hard as we can to find you an apprenticeship opportunity. Millie has asked, due to COVID, I've not had much reply from apprenticeships and companies like so. Yeah, so I think we've covered that. We can certainly, obviously at the moment, a lot of employers are really focusing on their business plans, their models, their bounce back, how are they going to respond post-COVID. An awful lot of those are coming into fruition now and employees are coming back online, but they may be a little bit slow in replying to individuals. That's what we do on their behalf. If we recruit for them, we are that organisation that helps those employers find their apprentices. So if they're being a little bit slow, then Mandy and the team will act on their behalf and certainly help you. Cooper, do I have to go to college on day release if I'm doing an apprentice? Joinery construction, yeah. If you've got no skill, no previous experience or skills or knowledge in construction, then you need to attend a day release program at our City Skills campus. You will be allocated one of our trainer assessors to support you on that journey, and you'll do a lot of learning in the workplace. Your mentors, your employer will help you acquire knowledge and skills, the practical trade, but you must also attend day release for 2 or 3 years, depending on the level of study. What advice?
Question, sorry, can you answer the question?
Mandy,
what happens if
okay, Mandy's just going to ask Mandy, what was that question?
Sorry, there's an anonymous question. What happens if I can't get an apprenticeship sorted?
Okay, so there's a question coming in anonymously. What happens if I can't get an apprenticeship sorted? So hopefully I might have covered that about the targeted traineeship or the employer or the kind of full-time college courses. We want you to stay in learning and stay actively engaged. We will do what we can, but we'd also, as we get closer to the start of kind of the academic year in September, we will be supporting you to get a college place in case we can't get you fixed up with that apprenticeship, or we will sign you up as a targeted trainee if we found the employer, but it's just not the right time to start that apprenticeship. Okay, James has asked about travelling. Do the college bus pass still apply, or will I pay the normal fees? There are travel passes, as Sarah's answered in the chat. You are entitled to free bus passes as a 16 to 18-year-old, which is fantastic. But also, hopefully, you are earning some good money from that employer, and then when the time's right, you can start contributing and paying those fees and travel expenses. But there are certainly passes and schemes available. How long does an apprenticeship usually last? Is it years or is it months? As Sarah has alluded to, the minimum level of any apprenticeship programme has got to be 377 days. The vast majority of our programmes last around about 18 months to 24 months, normally kind of 2 academic years in length. But it all depends on the programme, the sector you work in, and again, how quickly you progress with your studies. What's really important is that an apprenticeship is very much about your learning and your progression. We would determine an agreed duration with you and your employer, and we want you to make continuous progress towards that. But on average, I'd say between 18 to 24 months. Some are shorter and some are longer. If you want to be an electrician, then you're looking at a 3-4 year program. You want to work for Jane as a site manager, you're looking at 2 or 3 years, etc. Very much depends on the organisation and the sector that you're working in. Minimum wage for business admin, just over £4.15, I believe, just changed, it's been introduced. That seems to be going up every year. Yeah, as Abby said, it's £4.15. A lot of employers do pay more, and we encourage employers to either pay more from the off or to put incentive plans in place. As you become qualified, your rate is going to increase, etc., etc. But obviously, a really important part of any apprenticeship is that income and that earning potential. What is the chance of a school leaver securing a level 3 apprenticeship? Is this more A-level BTEC? I would say there's a very good chance if you show that determination, that attitude, and that belief to an employer, they will consider you. They will seriously consider you. You've got to be right for their organisation. They may want you to go to college. They may not. It very much depends on the organisation and the individual. And as Jane alluded to, they want to see your attitude, your determination, your commitment rather than sometimes your academic achievements, but obviously they are really, really important as well. Millie's asked when a new apprenticeship starting. Apprenticeships start at any point. Employers don't stick to academic calendars. Employers don't need staff according to when we start college. We have apprentices who start every day. Some of our provision does align to academic calendars like construction, but that's when you start college. It doesn't mean you might start your apprenticeship in July, in August, early September, but you might not start college until later in September, October, etc. So we have apprentices who start on programme every day and who conclude their apprenticeships every day as well. Hopefully we've covered what happens if you can't get an apprenticeship. We're a fabulous educational institution, and we have some great college programmes. We've also got the targeted traineeship on offer as well. And I think how long are construction apprenticeships? Last question. Normally a level 2 apprenticeship is 2 years, and then another level 3 is maybe 18 months to 2 years again. So probably if you're looking at a career in construction, you're looking at a minimum of 4 years in total in terms of being an apprentice, but you will be progressing up in terms of level of study. But then obviously once you've completed, you're fully competent, you're fully qualified, you've got a fabulous career ahead of you. And a lot of our apprentices, once they get towards the end of their studies, are leaving. They've already got a van. The employers give them a van. They've had numerous pay rises, and they go on to earn an awful lot of money in the construction sector. Okay, I think that brings an end to our questions. I'm going to leave it for a minute. If anyone has got any questions that they'd like to ask, please do fire away. We're going to give it a minute, and in that minute, I'm just going to thank Jane for joining us. Always brilliant to bring these things to life. Jane has employed hundreds of apprentices and will continue to do that. Brilliant employer. Wilmot Dixon, a fabulous example of a company who invests in young people to give them a future and give them a career. So thank you for joining us, Jane. Really appreciate that. Thank you to Mandy and the recruitment team who are so passionate about helping you guys. They really want to help you progress into an apprenticeship programme. So please pester the life out of them, email them, reply to them. If they ask for information, reply as quickly and as efficiently as possible, because they are desperate to help you. They really want to put you into apprenticeships with our employers. So I'm going to say thank you to that team. I'm also going to say thank you to our marketing team, Tom and Jess, for making this event happen. First time we've ever ran a digital event like this. Hopefully it's been a success and you guys have learned a lot. So I've had no more questions, so I'm going to bring the event to conclusion. We look forward to hearing from you, Mandy and the team. Look forward to those emails and look forward to progressing with you on your apprenticeship career. And I look forward to hearing all about it in the future. So thank you everyone for attending, and thank you colleagues for joining me. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.